Hey guys, I've been reading a lot lately about how some people think that they ought to drop the D from PTSD, and they say stuff like, "Oh, well, you know, it's a stigma. It's a stigma. It feeds a stigma. You know, they don't like the word disorder." I'm like, okay. Problem is, if the word itself is the biggest issue, then you get bigger issues. Because the term post-traumatic stress disorder is actually perfection. Now stop and think about what it means. Post is after. Trauma is Greek for wound. So after wound. Stress. Well, everybody gets stressed out. After you get hurt, after you get wounded, after a traumatic event that almost killed you, it's pretty stressful. Disorder means that things were in order at one time or another, and they get out of order because things change. No one comes out of trauma and transitions from a victim to a survivor without some type of change happening, and the thinking process, everything else gets a little bit kind of messed up. But when things get out of order, you can put them in order again. So how is that feeding the stigma? It's more feeding the stigma when people are starting to fool around and say, it's the term with the D. Now, they have no problem with post-traumatic stress. Some want to call it an injury. Well, okay, yeah, an injury is a wound, so that means it's after wound, stress, wound. That makes no sense at all. So how about we get rid of that foolishness? And if you get a problem with a D, stop and think about your vehicle. I know when I get in my car and I stick it in D, I'm moving forward. I'm not going backwards because then I'd have to have it in R. I'm not staying where I am because then I'd have to have it in N. And I'm certainly not going to just sit still forever and leave it in P for park. It's in D for drive. Go forward. You can go forward with your disorder. And you can put things back in order again. There's a lot of PTSD that can be healed. And you can feel better. You know, it doesn't have to be, you know, trivialized down to, let's fight over a letter. That's really kind of stupid. When we're falling for everything else that they say, it's ridiculous. It is absolutely positively ridiculous to be fighting over a letter. Something that they came out with back in the 70s. Yes, I know the VA acknowledged it in the 80s. But in 1978, the DAV commissioned a study, and it's called the Forgotten Warring Project. And it said post-traumatic stress disorder. And it was spot on what it was, what it did, and everything else. The other thing you need to keep in mind is there have been all kinds of different names for it. The first psychiatrist that got embedded with the troops was back in World War I. Yeah, over 100 years ago. Psychiatrists were with World War II troops. Psychiatric evacuations went up 300%. In Korea, they tried something different. That clinicians go with the troops, and as soon as they started showing any type of psychological distress, they were pulled out of combat. They were treated. Most were sent back into combat after they were, feeling better, and some were sent home. Vietnam, they did something different. They did a thing called DEROS, and DEROS was a year, and they came back. They went along, they came back along. So we need to stop playing around with something as stupid as changing the D. Think of it that way. That D in PTSD. Get in and drive and move forward. See you next week.